everyone, welcome back to Melbourne Tracks. In today's video, I travel from Melbourne to Bendigo on V-Line's N-Class passenger train. Being the oldest type of passenger train still running in Victoria, let's go find out what these trains are like and if they're still fit for purpose. The V-Line N-Class are a fleet of 25 diesel-electric locomotives made in Victoria for use on Victoria's country railway network V-Line. Entering service from 1985 to 1987, the N-Class have appeared in multiple different liveries over their 41 years of service, and with many having survived serious accidents, sometimes multiple, it is amazing to see that all 25 are still in service. And with V-Line recently selling off 10 to freight operator Southern Short-Haul Railroad for use on grain trains, these guys have earned their spot in Victoria's 172-year-long history with railways. Unfortunately, since 2007, V-Line has ordered hundreds of new free-car Velocity diesel multiple unit trains to replace the N-Class on the remaining lines. With V-Line's Swan Hill line now being the only passenger route still run by the V-Line N-Classes, I had to choose a day where I could ride one before they're all gone. It's now 7 in the morning at Southern Cross train station, the main hub for V-Line passenger trains in Victoria. Southern Cross, in my opinion, is a very well designed station. It was originally named Spencer Street before being renamed to Southern Cross in 2005. The station is well connected to Melbourne's metro train, tram and bus network. Our train today is being run by N-Class number N458, an N-Class built for broad gauge track in the 1980s. Some N-Classes were converted to run on standard gauge lines in 2011, including the Albury line. However, the standard gauge N-Classes, along with some broad gauge Ns, have since been sold to Southern Short-Haul Railroad to run on grain trains. The train was initially scheduled to depart Southern Cross at 7:40 am. We departed 30 minutes behind schedule at 8:10 am. Delays and disruptions aside, let's enjoy the ride of 2 hours to Bendigo on one of V-Line's oldest passenger trains. Our train today is made up of 2 V-Line Z-type carriages and 3 N-type carriages. The Z carriages only come in economy class, however the N carriages come in a mix of economy, buffet and first class. As we're leaving Melbourne right now, let's go check out the buffet carriage. As you can see right here, V-Line's buffet class carriages on the N-Class trains can get quite busy. But after many minutes of waiting, I finally bought myself a bottle of chocolate milk and a ham and cheese sandwich. The train now reaches its top speed of 115 kilometers per hour, and as you can see, we're going past the giant Tottenham rail yard, located between Middle Footscray and Tottenham. This is used to store locomotives and carriages used on freight trains when not in service. However, because Tottenham Railway Yard is a broad gauge yard, its usage is significantly a lot lower than what it was before the 1990s. Broad gauge freight traffic in Victoria has declined significantly since the 90s. This is Water Gardens Station. You can change here for Metro Tunnel services to Cranbourne and Pakenham coming from Sunbury. Between Water Gardens and Bendigo, Swan Hill trains run express. We'll now take a look at the fares and ticket prices for V-Line's Swan Hill train line. So at the time of recording this video, I was travelling during the time when Victoria's transit fares were free for all Victorians for the month of April 2026. To travel between Melbourne and Swan Hill, or Swan Hill and Melbourne, a ticket will cost you just $5. However, you can travel free of charge if you're a traveller under 18. As we arrive at our next stop, Gisborne, I will now explain how you can still catch an N-Class V-Line train to this day. The N-Class run from Melbourne to Swan Hill via Bendigo, with 2 return services a day, both departing Southern Cross, with a morning departure at 7:40 and an evening departure at 6:40. Travelling between Melbourne and Bendigo will take 2.5 hours, while travelling between Melbourne and Swan Hill will take 4 hours and 40 minutes. The train now arrives at Woodend Station. That is the highest station on the V-Line network, being 580 metres above sea level. That's nearly 2,000 feet above sea level. As we're approaching the next station, Kyneton, let's take a look at the train's consist and capacity. So the train today consists of 3 economy class carriages, 2 Z-type cars, 1 N-type car, a buffet class car, a first class carriage, both N-type carriages. V-Line's economy class cars have a total of 88 seats per carriage, while the buffet carriage has a total of 81, while first class has a total of 52, bringing the train's capacity to a total of 397 seats. The next station is quite an interesting station on the V-Line network. Castlemaine has a direct connection to a broad gauge tourist railway that runs between Melbourne and Castlemaine, the Victorian Goldfields Railway, which is the only tourist railway in Victoria to be connected to the main V-Line network. Some other interesting pieces of history you'll find at Castlemaine is the heritage infrastructure and heritage signal box on the platform. I consider Castlemaine to be my favourite V-Line station. Anyways, as we're leaving, let's have a look at some unique features of this train that make V-Line's N-Class trains comfortable to ride. So each carriage is fitted with a rubbish bin, overhead luggage racks, priority seating, a toilet, generous legroom, and 2x3 seating configuration. We now arrive at Kangaroo Flat, the last station before arriving at Bendigo. As you arrive at Bendigo Station, you will notice their unique rail infrastructure in the surrounding areas, the Bendigo Workshops. The Bendigo Workshops is used by V-Line, Pacific National and Southern Shore Railroad to maintain, repair and store locomotives and carriages when not in service. After a somewhat fun but slightly grueling 2.5 hours on the train, we finally made it to Bendigo. As the train departs Bendigo to continue its journey to Swan Hill, you will notice the train's horn blaring in the distance. When N458 was brand new off the production line in Melbourne's northwest, it was fitted with a Leslie RS5T air horn. Just like with other videos on this channel, this one has also taken quite a while to make, so please leave your thoughts in the comments. I hope you enjoyed. If you do, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.